Today on Passion for Food, we're going bananas and making the best banana cake recipe with French buttercream. This cake is a great way to use up those bananas that have been lurking in the back of the fridge for a questionable amount of time. So without too much monkeying around, let's go ahead and get started. And speaking of bananas, if you're wondering, hey, are my bananas too ripe for this? Almost definitely not, unless they've actually started fermenting. So we want a total of 4 very ripe bananas into our large mixing bowl, to which we're going to add 1 large egg, a half teaspoon of salt, half a cup of oil, or 1 stick of melted butter also works great here, along with 1 cup of sugar. At which point we just want to get this all mixed together, and a potato masher is my tool of choice for that. Once we're all smashed and mashed, it's time to go in with our dry ingredients, which consists of 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. But that's it for our cake ingredients. We just want to get this all mixed together. Isn't it just bananas how easy this recipe is? It's definitely appealing that way. Anyway, now that we have our banana batter, we want to go ahead and pour that out into 2 8-inch cake rounds. Now, I had faith in the non-stickedness of my pans, but if you're not sure about your pans, you might want to oil or even flour those. Anyway, batter up. And as we're pouring out the batter, we just want to make sure that we're getting more or less the same amount in both pans. It's not going to look like a ton of batter when you put it in there, but don't worry, these are going to puff up quite a bit. And then it's off to a preheated 350 degree oven where these are going to cook for about 30 minutes or until they're nicely golden brown on top like this. Now with a normal cake, I would remove them from the pans and let them cool on racks, but these banana cakes are so tender and moist that I'm afraid that they're going to break if I do that, so I'm just going to let them cool in the pans. So while those are cooling, let's go ahead and make our French buttercream. And to start that off, we need half a cup of granulated sugar along with just enough water to get it kind of wet. That's about 3 tablespoons. And we just want to simmer this until it ultimately is going to reach 240 degrees. But while our sugar is heating up, let's go ahead and get cracking with our eggs. We're going to need a total of 4 egg yolks for this French buttercream. I'm going to use the old 5 fingers separation technique. After all, I hear ya gotta keep 'em separated. Alright, that's enough yoking around. Let's go ahead and get the rest of those separated. And if you're looking for something interesting to do with those egg whites, this would be a great time to check out this awesome pavlova recipe playing in the top right. In any event, let's grab our 4 egg yolks, and we're going to want to get these whipped up. So I like to use my stand mixer for this, but a hand beater would also work just fine. We just want to beat these egg yolks on high until they get nice and frothy and have approximately doubled in size. At which point we want to start slowly drizzling in that hot sugar syrup. And you want to pour it in kind of on the side like I'm doing here, not directly onto the beater like I was at first. That way you don't get as much sugar spun out onto the sides of the bowl as I did. And we'll continue beating this until the sides of the bowl are no longer hot. At which point we want to begin slowly adding 1 cup of room temperature butter. I'm using salted butter here, but if you want to use unsalted, just toss in a pinch of salt. Once our 2 sticks of butter have been incorporated, we want to give the bowl a good scrape down and just give it another quick whip, and we're done with our French buttercream. So let's go ahead and grab our now completely cool banana cakes and get frosting. I really like how the French buttercream pairs with the banana cake because it's not as sweet as other buttercream frostings, which would just be way too much here, I think. It's buttery, it's a little custardy with just a hint of sweetness. By the way, you can totally add nuts either to the banana batter itself or on top here. But me, I just prefer things totally bananas. Anyway, once we're happy with the French buttercream situation, let's go ahead and grab a slice. And yeah, I know that is a large slice. Hey, don't you judge me. I really like the bright yellow color that French buttercream has. It just looks right at home on a banana cake. And the banana cake itself is super moist and tender. This is one of my favorite banana recipes, so I really hope you give it a try. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, give me a thumbs up below and consider subscribing and hitting that little bell so you don't miss our future recipes. And check out some of our other great videos playing on the screen now. This has been Graham with Passion for Food.